All right, so what's up, guys? It's been a while. It has been some time. I think it's like a couple months or something like that. I have not uploaded in a while, but hey, I'm here now, and I have a few thoughts. So it's been a couple weeks since Resident Evil 8 dropped. At the time of making this video, this coming Friday would make it 3 weeks old, which is crazy since I've lived and relived the nightmare twice now, is what I would have said had I've come out with this video on time. But yeah, my name is Solar Bear, and I want to share my thoughts and opinions on Resident Evil 8.
No, friendly.
Who are you? Who sent you?
Nobody. There was an accident down on the road and... What's going on?
First time going through the game, I played on hardcore mode, which is the hardest difficulty you get upon starting the game with a fresh file. After you complete it, you get some nice rewards, which encourages a new playthrough in classic RE fashion, because every time you beat a Resident Evil game, they just have an insane replay value, and you just get to go through with, I don't know, infinite ammo, yada yada yada. So the story takes place in the house of Ethan and 3 years after the nightmares of 7. Now, my recollection of 7 is a bit hazy upon replaying Resident Evil 8. I wish I replayed it. But 8 gives you a brief summary of the events of 7 if you want to view that before starting. Like I said before, the story opens up with Ethan and Mia reading their newborn Rose, a rather sinister local tale storybook, and then after, Mia asks Ethan to tuck Rose into bed for the night. So I won't explain in detail everything that happens due to spoilers. I don't know how many people have actually played the game yet, but just so you know, things happen, and then Ethan finds himself in a cold village in Europe being attacked by a pack of wild lichens. Now, this is in the first like 20 or 30 minutes of the game, and I played the game my first time through on hardcore, so I knew at some point I'd find myself stuck on something for a period of time, right? Never did I think it was going to happen now, 20 minutes in on the hardest difficulty. Bro, my first time experiencing this took me over an hour to get through. It was straight up torture, bro. I got it to a point where I literally had a strategy and path from one building to the next until I finally succeeded. I could have been a QA tester for that area alone with the amount of time that I spent on it. It wasn't until the very last moments of surviving the lichens that the game prompted me to shove off the enemies with the block button. So after you successfully block an attack, you can shove enemies to make space and line up headshots or whatever you need to do to survive. Thanks, game. Could have used that at the beginning of the hell I just experienced, but I guess whatever. Moving on. Moving forward into the game, I started developing new strategies on handling certain parts since I knew I wanted to go through again. I noticed that enemies seem to have a certain aggro range, meaning that if they chase you far enough, they would eventually turn around. You can take advantage of these situations with either having bullets by knifing enemies, pretty risky, or you can line up some good headshots to do extra damage with less pressure on you. Some people might find that this takes away from the tension the game creates, but I find it kind of enjoyable to take as much advantage of a situation as possible. That's one of the fun factors of gaming to me.
Where are you going, little one? Bullets cannot harm. You stupid man thing!
You eventually come across a thick fellow by the name of the Duke, one of my favorite characters actually.
How do you know my name?
Anyone who is anyone has heard of the likes of you. A hero searching for his daughter.
In which he will sell you items, weapons, and upgrades to your weapons to make your nightmare a little bit more manageable. Sometimes the Duke is in a safe area, which I mentioned before, where you can lose enemy aggro. You can use these safe areas to do the same thing. If you played Resident Evil 2 Remake, you know what I mean when you had Mr. X following you around and you use the safe rooms there to kind of take advantage. You got it. Resident Evil 8 reminds me of Resident Evil 4 in so many different ways, with the Duke being the merchant, the survive until a certain amount of time has passed, like the village of Resident Evil 4 with the chainsaw ladies. At one point I thought about parts of Resident Evil 4 that had me so scared I had to take breaks. I wonder if Resident Evil 8 would deliver the same feeling. And the answer is yes. Only in one part though that I will not explain, but I will tell you. Oh, actually now, oh man. Now that I'm going over what I wrote down, I remembered what that was. Okay, so only in one part though that I will not explain, but I will tell you, is in the second part of the game after handling Lady D, the tall lady that the internet is so in love with. This specific part is so fucked up, my whole body was sweating. A 30-minute break had to happen after that. All I will say is, baby. Resident Evil was great to me, and I cannot wait for DLC for the next installment of the franchise. Whatever they bring out, Resident Evil 4 will always have a special place in my heart, and I look forward to the remake that was rumored to come in 2022. Now that I think about it, they haven't even announced anything, and E3 just passed, and there was no gameplay, no teaser, nothing of Resident Evil 4 remake, but I don't know, whatever. Capcom, you can take your time, it's all good with me. I have an insane backlog. Should you play Resident Evil 8? If you enjoyed Resident Evil 4 and 7, then yes. If you wanted to know what's happening next in the RE franchise, then yes. If you never played a Resident Evil game before and you want to see what the hype is about, then wait for a price drop, but still get it. Resident Evil 7 is free on PS Plus for PS5, and it's been on many discounts and free opportunities on other platforms. Play that first if you're new and want a cheaper but relevant RE, but put this on your radar. What's your favorite Resident Evil? I have played through a large amount of the series at this point, and I just kind of want to get an idea of what everyone else has played, or if you're interested in it. I know a lot of people don't really mess with horror games. Resident Evil is not too bad, honestly. It's not too bad of a horror game to play, but yeah, I want to hear your thoughts and opinions, so make sure you leave a comment at the bottom of the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.